The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You're listening to the Sports Scramble podcast, where four friends serve up a weekly plate of sports with a side of SEC bias. Now, here are your hosts, Chet, Jacob, Wade, and Tyler.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this week's episode of the Sports Scramble podcast, presented to you by Belly Up Sports. I'm your host, Chet, and I almost said Jacob. I've got Tyler and Wade with me. Jacob's working on school stuff. School comes first. He's trying to graduate last semester. But good luck on your project, Jacob. You'll catch him later this week when we got a special guest interview coming later in the week. But how y'all doing this weekend, guys?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, beautiful weather here. 80 degrees, feels like summer. Got baseball on, golf on. I'm ready to turn the page. A couple weeks after football ends, it kind of sucks, but this warm weather has me looking forward to baseball and all is right in the world.
Yeah, it's not warm here. It's like 60 degrees, 20-mile-an-hour winds. So I'm
Shouldn't have
still in the thick of it. I know. More central Texas, not North Texas just quite yet, but I'm making do. We all played golf for once on this lovely weekend. Tyler, how'd your round go?
Yeah, it's a miracle that we all played golf. We haven't played golf really all together in 1 week, well, excluding Jacob, since our annual whack. But I think my game went pretty good considering the circumstances that I haven't played since early August. I had a group of high schoolers actually let me pass them since I was just a solo. I had my mom in the golf cart. Oh my gosh!
You should have had her recording your swing. We could have thrown it on Twitter and reached out to Max.
She recorded some of the putts. Most of them were actually makes, considered or not. But
she only recorded the makes, guys.
Yes, only recorded the makes. It didn't really record the misses, but I was able to really watch some film on that. Definitely had to work on some putts. I think my drives were pretty good. I did have to really, with the 15-mile-an-hour wind to my back, I pretty much had
to my world.
Yeah, lower down the tee and pretty much hit a bunch of stingers. But the one hole that they let me pass on, I was like, okay, well, first of all, like, I hate whenever somebody watches me, like whenever they're right behind me, because they were walking the course. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything stupid. I'm just going to hit this one straight and true. And I did. It probably only went like 150 yards, but I wasn't going to like make a fool of myself and like hit it towards somebody's house or somebody like that. And then they watched my second shot, and I pulled out my 5 hybrid. I was able to put it on the green and then set myself up for a birdie putt, which I missed, but I was able to tap it in for a par. But the hole that really was shocking was actually the last hole. It was a par 4, 336-yard drive, and I ripped this sucker 300 yards and pretty much almost put it onto the green. So all in all, I played bogey golf, and to my standards, that's pretty damn good to me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. For as much as I practice, I should be better than a bogey golfer, but I'm gonna start practicing with a purpose, trying to really get that score down. I hate when people are like, I love when people are like, yeah, go ahead and play through, but then I hate when they stand and watch you.
I know.
It's the most nerve-wracking thing that happened to me last week. I rolled up to the course, and there was nobody out there, and I was like, well, shoot, I was planning on just like hitting the range. I was like, I'll play a few holes. Roll up, and there's this dad and his son tee off, and I was behind them. I hadn't teed off yet. I was just like, I'll just let them, it's first hole's a par 5, let them finish, then it'll give me enough room in between. They tee off, they turn around and go, are you by yourself? I was like, yeah, but y'all go ahead. He goes, no, go ahead, tee off. And I was like, all right, cool. So I walk up. I didn't even use the range. First swing of the day, I managed to pipe one down the middle of the golf course using my Piper golf balls, which we'll go ahead and first sponsor the show. Oop, I got to get a little taller to cover my face. Using my Piper golf balls, and you can use them too. If you go to piper.golf and use code SportsScramble10 for 10% off. Wade was using them this weekend. So for all you people watching on YouTube, you can see the link right there. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can also hit the subscribe button and join the family. We love all of our subscribers. We appreciate anybody joining. But Yeah, Piper.golf, Sports Scramble 10 for 10% off tour quality balls at a non-tour quality price. Back to the story. Um, I walk up there. I'm like, all right, first swing of the day. Let's see what happens. Pipe it down the middle. It's like, sweet. That felt awesome. I could see the dad kind of turn to his son because I like uncorked this thing.
He's like,
And
damn, I wish my son was like that.
yeah, his son was like 12 years old, so I don't think
Like,
he
you
was
see
hitting
that,
it
son?
far.
That's what
He's
you
like,
got
damn,
to
son, you don't have a beard and can hit it 250.
Hey, I hit it 300. Don't be hating on me like that. But then the second shot, I absolutely shanked it through my cart to the other side of the golf cart. I hit it right on the
You go from glory.
Nice one, Chet.
totally missed the ball. It went through my cart. I was like, oh man, that's embarrassing. And they had driven up to their ball and they saw it happen. And I had to drive by them. I was like, thanks for letting me play through, guys. Went to the ball and hit it, just went down the hole. So wait, I hope your round went a little better than mine did.
It did. I checked out a new golf course. Buddy
Where'd
of
you go
mine
play?
texted me on Friday night and was like, let's play golf tomorrow. And I said, okay, but where? Because everything was booked up because the weather was beautiful. So we ended up at the Pines at North Park, which is
Where's that?
formerly known as the Denham Springs Country Club, just
Okay.
down I-12 from Baton Rouge. And we used the Golf Now app. I know they're not one of our sponsors, but I'm going to go ahead and give them a shout out. It was $12.99 for 18 holes.
Nice.
So
You got one of those hot deals?
yeah, a hot deal of the day. Usually they're at, middle of the day or a time you don't want to tee off, but 10:20 in the morning couldn't beat it. So really kind of tempered my expectations of what the course was going to be for, $13. But honestly, it was a fun layout, and they did have a little bit of trouble growing grass on the tee boxes and some of the greens, but overall it was a pretty nice course. Good layout, 9 holes. But then when you played it the second time, they had a whole different set of tees so that you were playing a different angle on each hole. And didn't really keep score or anything. I saved the Piper golf balls for the back 9 since I was already kind of warmed up. Shanked the one that y'all see on the Twitter photo. I think I lost it. And then on the very next hole, I used it again. It was a much more wide open fairway. Hit it about 260 or so up the middle. I was very pleased with the Piper golf ball, and used it a couple more times on the drives. So I had a good time. It was nice to, play twice in 1 month. Felt like I hadn't done that in a while. And the old TaylorMade burners are holding on, man. I keep saying I want to get new clubs, but hitting these all right.
I saw a guy on Facebook. He's listing his full TaylorMade set. Everything: bag, putter, wedges, irons, driver, 3-wood, hybrid. It was like $1,900, but you could buy it separately. And I know you were looking for some new irons, so I may send it to you, and you may be able to hit them up.
Yeah, that'd be good. It's definitely going to be my wedding present to myself as soon as we get back from the cruise. I'm going to make it happen. But I thought tax season was going to help me out. Did not, but it is okay.
Yeah, no, the taxes are killing me too. So got to pay more this year. Not what I was hoping for, but it is what it is. We can't do anything about it. So why even complain?
Hashtag adulting.
But, yeah, I was talking about all the golf stuff. I was like, man, I miss when we were in college where we were get out of class early. Like, hey guys, y'all want to go play 9 holes at the LSU course where you can't even find your ball in the fairway, but it's
when you
free?
Thought my $12.99 was expensive for a round of golf.
Yeah, we'd go pay it was either free or $5.
$8.
Yeah, $8. So we'd go play and just go out there and play all day. That was the life. So, and I mentioned my little event last week. I did play in a match this Friday back when I was in Houston at the old home course Longwood where the WAC took place. Played a lot better than I did in the WAC. I can tell you that. I was hitting the drives pretty good. I've got my driver pretty consistent around 300 yards. So it always just leaves me with like a gap wedge or a 56 degree in. And I really need to work on my touch with those 2 clubs. But there was supposed to be a 2v2 match. And Jordan, if you're listening, really wish you would have showed up because I could have used your help. It's my work buddy. He bailed out last minute, and it was a 2v1 match, and I was the one. But the guys did give me a mulligan on each hole, and or 2 shots on each hole, and I was 4 down through 4, and then I took a few holes. They took some back, but I think I ended up losing 4 and 3, but I was outnumbered big time. I turned it on the back 9, but that front 9 was rough, and they never let go of that lead. So, but it's golf. We're getting better. It's
Man,
finally
4
starting.
and 3 at Longwood is just familiar for you. You and Wade lost
Hey,
to
now.
us to 4 and 3.
And he
as
lost
well.
4-3 in up in Texas in Lake Canyon Lake.
Yeah,
He was
I
up
can't get
4 holes to go. He was up 3, and I took the last 4.
Well, then you only won by 1. 4 and 3 is we didn't even play the last 3 holes because
Yeah.
it's impossible
yeah.
for me to win.
That's what happened
So-
at the WAC.
That
And
is
then
what happened at the
then
WAC.
we saw Jacob hit a chip for a birdie off
Yeah,
camera.
chip it in
when
off
it didn't
camera.
matter.
Yeah.
So, but
I
you
think we all
alluded to
played
the
better off camera.
Yeah, we did. I think we were too focused on the camera. I don't know. We'll get a cameraman for next time. Wade, you alluded to the wedding in a few weeks. Tyler, I'll have your Piper golf balls when I come into town and see you then. You'll get your sleeve, and I'll bring Jacob's sleeve as well, so the whole crew could be rocking the Piper golf balls.
I'll
We
model
talked a
it
little.
next time I go golfing.
There we go. You could take a little video, but you got to make it. You can't be posting.
That's why I
I'll
just sent
try
a
and
still
find
photo
another 300
because there was
yard
no
drive
evidence
again.
I hit it bad.
There you go, Wade. Now you're figuring out the social media game. We talked about LSU. We got to talk about some LSU baseball this weekend. They took the first game like, what was it, like 9-2 or
7-3.
so? Yeah, 7-3. Everything was looking good, and then Saturday Iowa rolled out a guy throwing 101 miles an hour, and we just couldn't get it done. We got the absolute brakes beat off of us, like 14-4. So dropped the first loss of the season. It was bound to happen eventually. But Tyler and I were talking. We're like, all right, these guys got to respond. They did. They won 16-4 today. And with that, they won by 12. They had to win by 11 to break the tiebreaker between us and Iowa and Sam Houston State. And so LSU wins the Round Rock Classic, takes the championship belt back home to Baton Rouge. So that's good to see. A little concerning with the lineup. Trey Morgan was playing left field and then got hurt running into the wall, which I don't agree with him playing left field. He's probably the best first baseman in the country. And I know you got to have good old Bear Jones in there to hit because the dude just hits absolute missiles. And Tommy Tanks dislocating his shoulder, playing DH. Jay Johnson's just trying to figure out how to put all the best hitters in there. But I don't know. I think you got to keep Trey at first. You can't risk him getting hurt like this. But he came back today and he played good, had a few RBIs. Tyler, what did you see from the Tigers this weekend and how they responded from their first loss?
Yeah, really, I think that they handled their business. I mean, no one is going to go undefeated in college baseball, just how baseball. Really, if they can just take 2 out of 3 every weekend, that's your goal for this season. So I think going back to Friday, we saw Paul Skeens. I mean, look at the first inning, he threw 32 pitches, but only led up to 1 run. And after that, he was like the Paul Skeens like we saw during Air Force, and then like we saw against Western Michigan, he had 10 strikeouts. Really had a phenomenal.
That first inning, he was a little iffy, which I say, what did we see? We didn't see because D1 Baseball made you buy a subscription to watch the games, and I refused to. I already paid for ESPN Plus. I'm not paying for any more subscriptions to watch 3 baseball games. We can talk about that in a little bit because that's a little ridiculous. But yeah, he came out and 10 strikeouts, back to his normal form, so that was good to see.
Yeah, and then on Friday, there was a couple of times where our guys could have hit home runs, but the cold and the wind kept some balls out in the air. Jared Jones had a long home run that should have been one. It was good to see Tommy Tanks back in the lineup. He DH pretty much the whole entire weekend since he's still recovering from that separated shoulder injury from opening weekend. And then Saturday's game is we really saw this LSU team face adversity for the first time this season. Iowa, like Chet mentioned, was pretty much facing one of the best pitchers that LSU is going to face, even with Tennessee's guy, Chase Dolander, is probably going to be the other guy that they're going to face this season as well. But he's one of the best pitchers in the country. He had it. He had his fastball working for him pretty much all game. His curveball, his slider as well. I mean, Iowa jumped out to a 4-0 lead. LSU was able to cut it to 4-2, but it was pretty much Iowa's game from start to finish. They really jumped on Riley Cooper. You're not facing Western Michigan anymore, Riley Cooper. It's just going to get tougher and tougher. So I feel like Riley Cooper. I mean, I feel like he's good enough to start, but if LSU going to want to be successful, I feel like you just have to make the move back to the bullpen. You need a trusty lefty coming out of the bullpen. I think we're going to ultimately see Thatcher Hurd be your Saturday guy. And then I think that Chase Shores, he really bounced back from a little shaky opening weekend. He really had his stuff working for him, but his command was off. I think his command was definitely better against Sam Houston State, a team that really can pound baseballs. They're one of the best offensive teams that LSU will face this season. But 23 hits today, very impressive. He had better weather conditions. The wind was blowing out. It was in the 60s, like Chet mentioned, out there in Round Rock. So all in all, a pretty good series win, pretty much. And now you have to face the Texas Longhorns on Tuesday.
Yeah,
I saw Chase Shores left after 2 innings. Was he injured, or did he just reach a pitch count limit, or what was?
Yeah, they're probably just pitch count since he's a freshman.
Yeah, he's a big freshman. He's like 6'8". Dude's huge. He keeps that control under wraps. He's gonna be our Sunday guy for sure. Wade, you gonna make the trip out to Austin to watch us take on UT?
I think that's all you, my guy. You're hour and a half away from that game. I think it's gonna be a hard ticket to get, though, for sure.
Yeah,
it's a shame though if the guys aren't playing their true number one pitchers, for a midweek game. It'll be interesting to see who pitches. It might not be a true representation of those two teams, but I do think LSU is the better team on paper.
Yeah, there were some rumors that we were gonna hold out Paul Skeens this weekend and maybe throw him Tuesday, just because I think Texas. They were ranked number 10 to start the season, but then they got walloped the first week.
They did not do well in the SEC Big 12 showcase in
they got swept.
Arlington. Yeah. But that's kind of what's fault about college baseball versus, college basketball or football is, they try to do what they do for basketball and establish these quad one wins. Well, if Texas beats LSU, that's going to be a quad one win. And I get that you're facing the same lineup, but that's not the same LSU team that you're going to face come Omaha or come postseason.
Oh, right. We're also throwing a pitching. Yeah, it's going to be totally different. Especially this early in the season, teams haven't found their rhythm yet. So I don't like the opening up against the Big 12 SEC thing. I know it gets eyes, and viewers, but it's a little rough. It's like LSU football opening up against Florida State last year. We saw what happened there, and now it's going to happen again next year. We'll see who comes out on top. Around the college baseball world, we had a few upsets. Portland took the series over number 5 Texas A&M.
Did they end up sweeping them?
No, A&M won today 5-4.
Portland was up 3-run homer.
Yeah, Portland was up 3-1 going into the 6th, and then A&M was able to bounce back today. But yeah, that's still eye-opening. They even lost to Lamar on the midweek, so A&M is now, I believe, 3-4 or 4-3 on the season.
They'll find their rhythm, though. I mean, they're one of the more talented teams, I feel like.
Let's hope they don't find their rhythm on March 17th, 18th, and 19th, because we won't be watching. We'll be doing something else, a.k.a. Wade's wedding, but LSU will be taking on Texas A&M. I had to turn down tickets this weekend, Wade, so that's how much I love you. I'm going to be at your wedding.
Originally I was going to give into a fall wedding, so I picked a spring wedding that wasn't Masters weekend. That's about as good as I can get it.
That works.
That is true.
I will not be watching
Masters weekend. Chet wouldn't even show up near it.
No, I totally would show up because then I could live bet the Masters because I'll be in Louisiana.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's also Easter weekend this year for the Masters, so there's that conflict.
That'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
Someone gets the green jacket on Easter Sunday.
Those were fond memories, watching the final round of the Masters at my grandparents' for Easter dinner midday. Masters finishing up.
Yep,
it's good times.
Yeah, I'll have to play some live bets or not live bets, but some bets on the Masters when I'm in Louisiana for the wedding. But yeah, we'll see what Texas A&M looks like in a few weeks when they take on LSU. Hopefully, we won't have to watch. Hopefully, LSU will just be beating the doors off of them, and we'll be fine. It won't even matter that we're at the wedding. Florida State takes the series over number 8 TCU. So that's an interesting development to watch with TCU. And of course, our Tigers got upset on Saturday, but they bounced back to win 2 of the 3 games this weekend and take the tournament. So I don't believe our number 1 ranking will falter. I'm sure we'll still be ranked number 1 because I think Tennessee was number 2 and they've lost 3 or 4 games already this season. A lot of the SEC lost some midweek games, but LSU got it going against Southern. What was it, like 18-4?
Yeah,
Trey
18
Morgan hit for the
The
cycle.
offense is there, that's for sure.
Yeah, so we let's just hope we don't falter against Texas here midweek. These midweek games sneak up on these teams, but we'll see. Hopefully they treat it like a weekend game. Another LSU news: women's basketball wrapped up. I think they finished the season 27-1, tied
Yep.
for the best regular season in LSU women's basketball history. They beat Mississippi State by like 20 points. No surprise there. They locked up the number 2 seed in the SEC tournament. Wade, do you see the women's team beating your South Carolina Gamecocks come like Final Four?
I think the best scenario would be they get beat again in the tournament, and then they meet in the NCAA tournament, and maybe South Carolina lets down their guard because they've beaten LSU twice. But I do think if there's ever a time for LSU to do it, it might be in the SEC tournament because South Carolina knows that they have the number 1 overall seed on lock. Of course, they'd like to win the SEC. It would kind of be silly if they didn't, but that's a team that's already looking forward to the national championship. And there's a possibility they get caught slipping, but honestly, it's in Greenville, South Carolina. There's going to be a lot of South Carolina fans there.
Yeah, I saw
I do
that.
think
That's
that
a little
they're just
worrisome.
by far the most talented team. So, no, I don't see it happening.
The SEC tourney doesn't really affect your bracket rankings. I mean, LSU's probably got the number 2 seed for the March Madness locked up there. South Carolina obviously is a number 1 seed. So we'll see. We'll see how the girls do. We'll be watching that, rooting for them. I mean, Angel Reese has just been total domination. I think they get a bye in the SEC tournament. Is that right, Tyler? Or do
Yeah, they get the
2
double
byes?
bye. It's pretty much like the men's, where the top 4 seeds get a double bye. So I don't know how the bracket works, but LSU's not going to be playing probably until like Thursday.
They can show up on the weekend. It's going to be interesting when the SEC expands to the 16 teams because then you have a true bracket format where you could have the 1 seed play the 16 seed. I mean, do you do that? Because there's a huge advantage to sitting around resting for the weekend. Do you really need your number 1 team to play the 16?
I think probably 1 and 2 should have that's your reward. And then the other 14 teams battle it out, or 2 teams just don't make it and you leave it how it is now. I didn't even think about this. Oklahoma and Texas are going to join the SEC. I was thinking football. All the other sports are going to be joining as well. So that should be interesting how that shakes up.
And
everybody talks about
they join first. Is it football first or is it the other sports?
I think whenever they join, it's everything.
Yeah,
well,
I think
it
might be
2024
everything.
is in January 1?
So
like it would start.
That's interesting.
Baseball
I don't know how that works.
I think it might be the academic year.
Yeah, it would probably be like the summer months whenever they make the move.
Because basketball would be in the dead middle.
It would have to be like June, July.
Yeah, so it'll be like the 2024-2025 season.
Yeah.
Starting with football, working into basketball.
I didn't even think about
baseball
that.
will be the last.
What if it was like January 1 and then they're just like playing for the men's basketball teams playing in the Big 12, then boom, switch to the SEC, and now you're last of the SEC because you have no SEC wins.
There were 2 college basketball teams this year that had guys enroll in January and start playing for them midseason at Wake Forest and NC State. So I guess you could do it with a whole team.
I didn't think you could do that.
They were high schoolers and they reclassified.
You don't have to be there at the beginning of the season. You can just start playing.
And they just enrolled and started playing, yeah.
That changes things. Like if you got an injury bug going on, you start convincing these high school commits to reclassify. Like, hey, you're starting now. I mean, you're probably still going to lose, but who knows?
Only really works for basketball, I guess, because football, you're all in one semester.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Basketball
Yeah,
and
maybe the bowl
maybe
games.
baseball.
Let your early enrollees play.
Do it in baseball and have these like kids graduate, start up, and be there for like the June like Omaha push or like in
Yeah,
Omaha.
get some
You need
bullpen
some more
arms.
pitchers. Yeah, you need some more pitchers. Just enroll. That'd be an interesting thing if they allowed that.
It's a good argument.
Yeah, like hey, they're committed. And they get drafted during Omaha. I mean, what's to stop them from just quitting and be like, nah, I'm out? Because what if that? Well, I
He's
guess they're
taking
already
University
drafted. If they get,
101, man. He's
yeah.
learning how to
So
study and do his sheets.
exactly. So just put him in there, and if you need, I mean, he's not gonna be used to facing college hitters, but I don't think it's that different. It's different if you got like a high school batter come up and facing college pitchers. If you're a pitcher and you got the stuff, you're throwing 98 in high school, you're gonna do pretty damn well in the NCAA throwing 98 miles an hour too. So
Hey, Bryce Harper played at JUCO as a homeschooler. Instead of playing in
really,
his local high school league, he enrolled in junior college classes as a homeschool student and started playing college ball.
hey, you got to do what you got to do. Oh, that might be something we need to explore if there's any
Call
rule.
Jay
I'm sure
Johnson.
there is.
He loves his rules.
Yeah.
He's a
Hey
rule
Jay,
stickler.
look, you need some arms come Omaha like we did last year. Just sign some kids. Have them graduate early. Graduate in March. I'm sure they can figure it out.
While we're
Pay them.
transitioning back into baseball, a point about Jay Johnson that I think is funny because I know y'all wanted to talk a little bit about the pitch clock tonight. I think it's so funny that they have this pitch clock and you see all this initiative to speed up the game and they're watching it like a hawk, calling guys out left and right for taking 21 seconds.
The LSU game Friday night ended on that.
But you got Jay Johnson calling timeouts between every at bat to talk strategy like nobody's business, and they there's no rule. Like
He's always been doing that. He's just an analytics.
There's a
coach.
rule. You can only have
you can only get one
timeouts?
meeting. Yeah, one meeting on the mound, and then you get like one offensive meeting, like what Jay Johnson does when he talks to the hitters.
Okay, well he uses every single one, and I think it
Yeah, he
counteracts
uses one
all
literally
the
every
time you
inning.
save on the mound.
Have you noticed the pitching coaches are like full sprinting out there now because they only get 30 seconds. They're like,
Yeah, I thought the
"Woo!"
Western Michigan guy was just a weirdo at first, but then I realized
No.
it was a rule.
He was booking it onto
Like
the
other
Awesome.
years, they're just
Yeah,
casually
on the
like
phone, man.
walking and like, just taking their time, eating some sunflower seeds on the way to the
Dude,
mound.
LSU's
You're like,
pitching
all right,
coach is
what's
big
up,
boy.
guys? Where are we going to eat after this game?
No, not
The
anymore.
guy
Wade.
from
We got
last
that
year
dude
couldn't
from
have made it there in 20.
Oh yeah, last year he's bigger than what's his name, Riley Cooper. The two of them are hanging out at the all-you-can-eat buffet. Cooper's
At the
still hanging out
casino.
there with them. It looks like. So, but yeah, who was it? The Braves and the Red Sox spring game ended in a tie because of the batter not being ready in time. 2 outs, bases loaded, 2-2 count, and they called a strike. Game was over.
Yeah.
Tie game. I mean, it's spring training, so obviously they're not going extra innings. But I think that's pretty wild. You should get like a warning, and if it happens
Does each
twice in
team
an
get
at
one
bat,
warning per game?
sometimes they give them a warning, sometimes they don't.
I haven't seen one instance where they have just done a warning. They like look at the clock and like, all right, that's strike.
Yeah,
I feel like each team should get one pitching warning and one batting warning, and that'd be a good start.
All right, but
I also
here's
just
my
don't like
thing.
it.
If you're gonna put a clock on both the batter and the pitcher, whenever they have their little umpire replay reviews, they need to put a clock on that because it shouldn't take like 5 minutes to decide whether he's safe or out.
Yeah, I remember the first game they had like 6 replays, and they all were like 2.5 minutes long. It's like, well, if you want to speed up the game, speed up your replay process or cut your TV. Well, I guess baseball there's not a TV timeout. But like in football, they were talking about changing the rules or like the clock running on.
Oh my gosh!
Incomplete
Whenever I
pass.
see that dude come out with the clock that says 3:30, I just want to punch him in the face.
Yeah, in football, you can speed up the game. Just eliminate the TV timeouts. You take like one every drive. Take some of those out, and there you go. So
only one more of SEC on CBS for all of us. Then we're done.
Yeah,
We
that's
still
what's
got
wild
one
is
more
the
year?
different network determines the
Yeah, this
length
is
of the
they're
timeout.
doing one more year and then they're moving to ESPN.
I thought we were done.
No,
We got to listen to Gary Daniels and Brett Nussmeyer for
Did you know that
speaking of the two of them. Go ahead, Wade. I'll add it in a minute.
CBS got a bigger deal with the Big Ten than the SEC got with ESPN?
That's surprising.
Like, they're getting $3.6 billion and the SEC is getting $3 billion. But
We're
that
getting
shows how
shafted.
much the SEC wanted to get
I wonder
off
how
of
much
CBS.
Fox is going to be paying for the Big 12 now, since they're going to be their main one.
That's also
now we
up
got the
there. It's
Big
like
12
2.3.
They're going to get the Big 12 and then the Group of 5.
The Pac-12 is literally negotiating with Ion TV. I thought that they just played
Ion?
reruns of Family Feud.
They're going to be on PBS Kids before we know it.
That's like Live Golf being on
Well,
the
perfect
CW.
for 9 a.m. starts. PBS Kids.
You got-
can watch that and then
you can-
Barney.
Yeah, you got Barney and then your Pac-12 game.
Got
And then
Blue's
over on
Clues coming up after
the-
this game.
on the CW, you can catch the Vampire Diaries and then the Live Golf tournament. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just going to be wild.
Like, I didn't know I had Ion TV still, but maybe I do. I don't know.
I used to watch,
Just a bunch
Mama's
of old Western
House.
movies that play there.
I think it's Mama's House. It was like some old 1980s sitcom with his old grandma that was like basically like Tyler Perry's Medea, but like way older, like in the 80s. And it was the funniest thing ever, but it was on Ion TV. And that's what I used to watch as a kid. But what I was going to say about our friends over at CBS, Kerry Daniels and Brett Nussmeyer, you had AJ McCarron taking less money to play in the XFL instead of being an NFL backup because he wanted to make memories for his family. There's one memory of AJ McCarron's family that we all remember, and it's Gary Danielson like verbally molesting his girlfriend in the national championship game, and they
It was
would not
Nussmeier,
leave
so
her
give-
alone.
It
Give
was
Gary a
not-
break.
It was both of them. But yeah,
Well,
that
Gary
was,
didn't
I
get to
think,
call the national championship. He would have, though.
yeah, definitely Nussmeyer out
During
there,
the SEC championship.
yeah, that was definitely an interesting time back then. He would have been canceled.
Man,
Today's
this
culture.
ain't Garrett Nussmeier's dad.
You know
it's
what
a
I mean.
Musburger.
Musburger. I don't know why I said Nussmeyer. Musburger. That was that was definitely an interesting time back then. But now they're a happy family, and AJ McCarron is starting in the XFL. He's 2-0.
The XFL has had some crazy games. I mean, but it like the under. I feel like in every game it's like all these wacky scores, like 18-12, like 20 to.
That's the thing.
The
Vegas doesn't know
13.
how to predict it with all the different PAT rules and onside rules. What do y'all think of?
What are the rules? Oh, we lost Wade. Tyler, you still there?
Yep.
Okay, we lost Wade for a second. What do you know the rules for the XFL?
No, I don't.
Let's see if we can guess them. I bet you a PAT is what. Oh, you can. I think you can decide the yardage that you want to take, like the Pro Bowl.
Really?
Let's see. Hold on. We're getting a little sports scramble pause here until Wade can reconnect.
Well, future chat. This is where you have to edit.
Nah, be okay. We're still talking. So the XFL rules. There's tiered extra points. Hold on, I'm pulling them up right now. Tiered extra points are back. Teams will have 3 run/pass only. Oop, we got to take off the overlay now that Wade's gone. But let's see. I'm trying to find. So if the extra point, because it's not. I don't think it's kicking. I don't think you kick a field goal. Teams will have 3 run/pass only options for extra points following a touchdown. For the 2-yard line, it's 1 point. From the 5-yard line, it's 2 points, and from the 10-yard line, it's 3 points. Oh, there we go. Here's Wade. He got that Kenner internet, man. You got to upgrade it. But yeah, we were
on it. That was Verizon, actually. The hotspot gave out.
Oh, come on, Verizon. Hook your boy up with a better hotspot. We were looking at the 2-yard line's 1 point, the 5-yard line's 2 points, and 10-yard line is 3 points. You can't kick an extra point, but can you still kick a field goal?
Yes.
Okay.
But what I don't like about it is that I like how the field goal, like 2 field goals plus an extra point, is the equivalent of a touchdown.
Mhm.
So like you kind of lose that when you have a 3-point play per se. Like it takes away the scenario where you have to go down the field and get a touchdown and a field goal. You can just get 9 points on one play.
So I'm
I
looking
mean,
at
you got to
some of
get
these
the
other
3
rules.
pointers. I like the kickoffs. The kickoffs are cool.
Yeah, teams begin play 5 yards apart. Kicking team at 35 and return team at the own 35.
They line up like it's a wrestling match. So I can just imagine right now, like Jordan Davis lining up on some little like scrawny special teamer and just like pancaking them.
You got 35-second play clock. Clock will start after incomplete passes and out of bounds plays prior to the 2-minute warning. And the clock stops after a first down during the 2-minute warning. And you only get 3 timeouts per half. It's first and second half. That's it. On fourth down. Never mind. Sorry. After you score a touchdown, you'll have 2 options to keep the ball. You can either do an onside kick, or you have a fourth and 15 conversion from their own 25-yard line, but that's only can be used in the fourth quarter. That's interesting. You can have a double forward pass.
And I think you get the
behind
ball
line of
wherever you
scrimmage.
complete the pass too. Like on that 4th and 15, I think like it's from the 50, and if you throw it down to like the
25.
2-yard line, okay, then you get the ball.
It's just like a
wherever it
new
was.
set of downs, wherever
Yeah.
it goes.
So that strategic would, like, if you have 2 seconds left, it would be to chuck it, within field goal range or something.
Yeah. Well, The Rock is running this thing, and it seems like it's pretty successful so far. We haven't really talked about it because I haven't watched any games, but I see the highlights on Twitter.
I watched a little bit of it. The thing that stands out to me is 2 things about like the setup is, one, they all live and train in Dallas, and then they get on a plane and fly to their respective city for the game, which is kind of weird.
Okay.
And 2, the disparity between the stadiums and facilities, I think, is why they have to do that, because you have some teams playing in NFL stadiums, and then you have others playing in baseball stadiums, and then you have some, like the Las Vegas team is playing in like a municipal like kids recreation complex where they spray painted the dead grass green today.
Oh my gosh.
So you have like the Seattle Sea Dragons playing the Seahawks stadium, and then you have the Vegas team.
I think the Houston Roughnecks play in NRG.
So Raiders, just help them out, man. I mean, hell, even Bishop Gorman High School, help them out. Let them play there. They're playing in like,
just go play in the college stadium.
I think they demolished UNLV Stadium whenever the new Raiders one opened, because they play there. But Bishop Gorman plays like elite football, big Catholic school. They could definitely play there. And the thing is like, the guys are having to enter the dugouts to go to the locker room, and it's like there's probably a kids 8U baseball game there the day before. No joke. I mean, it was kind of bad for the brand.
Yeah, they got to figure that out. The Rock, just rent out some arena. I mean, you got enough money, you could do it, Dwayne. Well, yeah,
I'm going to start watching.
Or just relocate the team if you can't find it.
Don't do it in Vegas.
Hell yeah, they could put it in Baton Rouge. We would go watch that.
Yeah, put it in Tiger Stadium. I don't know if they'd let him play in Tiger Stadium, but they got that stadium. They got that stadium off of I-12 that's like this big dome. You know what I'm talking about, near downtown?
They could play just where Southern plays.
And
go play in the Southern Stadium.
Yeah,
that should be interesting. Other NFL news: Tyler, the gambling addict on the show, found out that Anthony Richardson's odds to be selected number 1 jumped up. We're talking about the Florida quarterback, Anthony Richardson. He was at plus 10,000. Now he's plus 750 because the rumor is the Colts are going to trade the Bears for the number 1 pick, and they're going to select Anthony Richardson. We'll see. I mean, the draft is in April, so we're still 2 months away. But we'll have to give our top 5 or top 10 big board. Put what's his name, Todd McShay, to shame.
Already got a mock draft out there.
Exactly.
Todd and Mel Kiper Jr.
Yeah, put him to shame. We'll do the sports scramble draft. And
can we each wear a suit and tie and be a representative for 8 teams?
We could.
I like it.
And then we could put out a graphic for it. That would be a perfect idea.
I like it.
But nobody gets the Dolphins.
We'll get
They
a
don't have
TikTok draft.
Yeah, the Dolphins forfeited their pick, so no one gets to be
whoever
Miami.
has the Dolphins has to forfeit their pick.
Well, we might have to do that, and we'll have our friends at Fanatics. I gotta get all the way up here for
Yeah,
people
you
watching on
gotta
YouTube because it covers my face.
get your posture up.
Yeah, so stay tuned for our pre-draft special. It's going to be sponsored by Fanatics. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the link right there. If you're listening, it's fanatics.n3n6tx.net/sports scramble. Head on over to Fanatics, help the show out, use our link, get your team gear. We got college baseball going on. We got golf. We got women's basketball, men's basketball, the XFL, about to be MLB season, hockey season. There's a lot of sports going on. Get any type of gear you want. I got to buy some Duquesne gear. There was talks of that. Futch is supposed to send me some Duquesne gear since I can never remember how to pronounce their name. So head on over to
Hey, you did
Fanatics.
it just then back to back, so that's a miracle in itself.
Yeah, I was like,
yeah,
who's he talking
I,
about?
said,
And I was like,
I
oh,
almost said Dusqueen. But our friends over at Duquesne, maybe we'll pick them this year and we'll cover them every week. But head on over to our link, help us out, get your Fanatics gear. So, a few other things I wanted to bring up: the Netflix documentary "Full Swing." Wade, you haven't watched it yet. There's not really any spoilers because it all happened in real life. But Tyler, both of us watched it. What was your favorite episode?
I feel like the one that stood out to me, I know that the Rory one is probably going to be your favorite, so I'm just going to let you go ahead and take that one. I'm going to go with episode 2, featuring Brooks
Of
Koepka
course you are. Brooks
and Scotty
Koepka and his
Scheffler.
wife.
What? No.
Yeah, I know why you like that show. There was a lot of bathing suit shots of Brooks Koepka's wife. Come on,
No,
Tyler.
I think it's just like the story. Is
that was the only R-rated episode too.
I know.
Was it really?
No.
But I just feel like the story of it. I mean, just going from one of the greatest golfers in the world, he was, I think, the number one golfer. I think it was like 2017, 2018. He won like 4 majors out the gates, and then he had some stints of injuries. He went through Justin Bieber phase of his hair. He went from he bleached
blonde
his hair. So I don't know. I went through that phase, but I think like this whole entire series did a really good job of just going through the lives of this, and like it really, if you watch episode 2 of Brooks Koepka, like whenever he makes like bogeys and he like really sucks, like he shows it, like he like cusses and everything, which I like about him. Like, and then like it goes to his like house, and whenever like they're eating dinner, with his wife and his friends, it's just
when they're in the pool.
Oh my god,
that was totally
but it really gets to these like professional golfers, and the curious thing that stood out to me is like I didn't know that if they miss the cut, they don't get any money. So they're like spending all these dollars on hotels and all this stuff and all that, like rental cars and all that. But I think that with Scotty Scheffler also being in this episode as well, going through his Masters win, and then what I really liked about the episode, they showed off the WM Phoenix Open. And my gosh, we need to go over there because they get absolutely wild on hole 16. They're chucking beers. Joel Damon in that one episode took off his shirt. He was flying it around. He picked up a beer off the ground and chugged it. So episode 2 to me, it showed some partying. It showed Brooks Koepka, going from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, and now he's on the Live golf tour, which our viewers know I'm not a fan of. And after the series, I kind of really changed my thoughts of it. I mean, some of these guys looked at this as a job, like we do as a job as well. If we get offered these millions and millions of dollars, we're going to take it. So that is what it is.
This, I think with the series, I mean, one, it pumped up the PGA. It really got everybody fired up for that. But it also did a good job of painting the picture of why the players went to Live. And what I liked was they didn't give some BS answer. Like DJ in his episode goes, "Are you kidding me, dude? If you got a call to work less and get paid more money, you'd be a moron if you didn't take it." Like, I mean, I think he said you'd be an absolute moron to not take the money. So, and they said that's why, like, you look at Brooks Koepka, who wasn't winning. He says in his episode, Scotty wins the Masters. He goes, "I can't even compete with that.
Yeah.
They're so good now and I just don't have my best. And he was like, I'm going to Live. I mean, you provide, it's complete, what's the word I'm looking for? Where it's security for your family. You get all this money. It's guaranteed. If you last place at every tournament makes 120 grand. You got guys like Pat Perez, who was pretty much irrelevant in the PGA Tour, and then Ian Poulter, his episode, which I didn't like Ian Poulter before. I didn't like him after his episode.
You're gonna buy some of his pants.
No, they're ridiculous. But there's a reason he went to Live, because couldn't tell you the last time he won a golf tournament.
I mean, he's nearing 50.
I thought he was like 55.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's older, and he could go there and make. I think they probably offered him like $10-20 million. That's more money.
It wasn't as much as like Koepka. He got $100 million, and I don't even know what Cam Smith got. Probably like
close. It was like 175.
That is just insane.
But
so is that divided by the number of tournaments you play?
It's like 175.
Or is there still a tournament purse?
So no, there's still a tournament purse. There was a rumor going around that that's how it was, but they came out and said that wasn't true. So there's basically like it's like a contract. It's a 3-year contract, and they're getting paid 175 million. Or Cam Smith, for example, 175 million for 3 years, and then there's a tournament purse. I think it's like $4 million a tournament. It varies. Which Live Golf has made zero money. They have zero revenue. And they've released that, and they really have to start making some money to probably stay around. But it's the Saudi government that got unlimited money. I don't know. They want to work together with, like, there's hope that eventually they could work together with the PGA Tour. But Greg Norman's doing this as like a personal vendetta against the PGA Tour. So as long as he's the head guy, it'll never happen. But they are allowing him to play in the majors, and that's what all the Live guys, that's really all they care about. I mean, they don't, like, they had the Honda Classic this week. They don't care about playing at the Honda Classic. They want to go play the major championships and compete. And I mean, the PGA Tour is really high right now with the Phoenix Open and Riviera last week. Tiger Woods playing, and Live is just started this week, so nobody's really paying attention to them. But
they get one of their guys, as you said.
Exactly. So if they get one of their guys, they're paying to be on the CW. I'm pretty sure. The CW is not paying to post it. But if they get one of their guys to win a major championship, that's going to open some eyes, because then it's like, okay, you go play 8 tournaments and you can still compete with the world's best. But
Cam Smith's going to be their best shot.
Yeah, I mean, I think he finished 8th in today's tournament.
So what do they do the other weekends?
That's the whole point. Is it's
less golf,
more money. I think they upped it to 14
surely
tournaments.
Play to keep rhythm and stuff. I mean, I'm sure they play on their own, whether it's for money or not.
But the big thing was, like, the PGA Tour players, they only play, like, the top guys, they only play like 16 events a year. And now
they probably don't play the midweek. They probably are only playing practice rounds and for money.
Exactly. I mean, you still go out there and practice, obviously. But it's you got there's 20, or how many elevated events are there? There might be, I think there's 16 elevated events, which the top I think it's the top 20 players in the FedEx Cup have to, or top 20 in the PIP. There's certain players have to play in the elevated events. Maybe it's the top world ranking points, whatever it is. I can't remember. And then you get to skip one event. Like Rory skipped the first event in Hawaii. He never really plays there. But
shoot, I would just go play and try to make the cut that weekend.
Well, at that one there is no cut. It's like the tournament.
You get last place and you still get hella money.
Yeah,
probably not enough to pay for Rory's weekend, but still a nice trip.
Right. So, but they all have to play in these like 16 or 15 events. And now Live, I think they was 8, now it's 14. I don't remember off the top of my head. So that's the whole thing, is like, oh, we can play less golf, spend more time with our families, make more money. And then them fighting to want to play on the PGA Tour like goes completely against their premise. It makes no sense. But this year they'll be allowed to play in all 4 majors. I mean, if one of them wins the Masters and you've got Scotty Scheffler like giving Cam Smith the green jacket, that's going to be wild. Cam Smith won the PJ Tour's like flagship non-major event, the Players Championship, and he's not like they're just going to have to come up with new graphics because they're definitely not going to put him around the tournament. I mean, he can't even compete in it. So, and that was his home course, and they revoked his membership. He's not allowed to practice there. I don't even think he's allowed to like be on the grounds there. So, but my favorite episode of Full Swing. I really like the Rory one, but I think my favorite one was probably Tony Finau and his family.
His wife's
That
funny.
family is just yeah. I've seen her on TikTok. She's hilarious, but that family is just awesome. The whole thing was like, Tony, you could be so much better, if you didn't have your family come to every tournament. If you were like Tiger back in the day and was just like full
Oh
on
yeah, that worked for
golf.
Tiger.
Yeah, look at it. Yeah.
He
He's
knew every
the
strip
best
club in
golfer
Augusta,
ever.
that's for sure.
Right. He's the best golfer to ever touch a golf club. But yeah, look at now his family life's better. But back in like 09, whoo. But Tony Finau came out and was like, if I don't win golf tournaments because my family's there, then I'm totally fine with that. Like my family comes first. And I was like, that's cool to see. And then he went and won like 3 in a row. So he's finally putting it together. And I really liked seeing the rookie episode with Mito Pereira choking away the PGA Championship. Watching that was insane. And then you got Sahith Theegala on there as well, and he's just a cool story to follow.
Living in H-Town.
Yeah, he's living up in the Woodlands. But like watching, I got emotional watching his family watch him miss that putt to lose the Phoenix Open, and then like the dad just like breaks down crying, and he's crying. I was like, oh my gosh, man, tear jerkers right here. But Wade, you gotta start the series. It's really good. It's
The
only
first
8
episode is pretty good too. Between
JT
the
and Spieth,
frenemies
yeah.
of Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, really,
Yes, I'll
it's
have
really
to
like a
dive
behind the
in.
scenes of their lives.
I
We
want
know what
more.
happened.
I want another season.
Oh, there it's already in the works.
I like
So,
stuff
and more
like that. I like Last Chance.
Give me a Ricky Fowler episode.
You gotta watch
more
the
players have
Coach
signed on.
Prime on Prime. That's another one you
I
should
think
watch.
that one's hosted by Barstool Sports. They put it together.
I can't wait to watch Coach Prime take on Colorado. So yeah, I like those kind of sports documentaries.
Yeah, and then you mentioned that quarterback one that Mahomes signed on
Yeah,
for.
and that's the next one Netflix is doing.
It's
I was surprised they got
Patrick
Mahomes to do that.
Who was it? It was Mahomes,
Kirk Cousins and Marcus Mariota. So
yeah,
quite the downfall there.
Marcus Mariota quit halfway through the season, so that should be interesting to see what comes out of that.
I can't wait to watch the Kirk Cousins cam. What does he do at home?
with his
how did they get Mahomes? I mean, that's
James.
good.
Yeah, I mean that's the big name right there. I think Netflix's goal for Full Swing is to definitely get Tiger Woods. That would just be crazy. But I think Tiger's got some contract.
He got a lot of airtime on Full Swing. I know
did.
that he didn't have like a specific like episode tailed to him, but I feel like every episode he was in it.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, it was just like from the tournaments he played, mostly from the Masters.
Yeah,
and also our friends, the Brothers Brant podcast, they were in it. They were escorting him to the first tee box. So it's cool to see them in there. But I think I watched the full thing in like 4 days. So I was just like binge watching.
Same here.
So we'll have to wait for next year for another episode to come out. But it was fun to just see the behind the scenes of all the golfers. So let's see other sports news I've got in my notes. The Kings and Clippers have the second highest scoring game in NBA history. Double overtime. The Kings then take down the Clippers 176 to 175. Pretty crazy. Hope you hammered the over on that one, Tyler, since you're our degenerate gambler on that.
I don't think Tyler's to the point of regular season NBA action involving the Kings.
No.
But he could have gone and seen the game live if he was in LA or Sacramento, wherever it was played. If he used
I'm in the other LA.
Yeah, you're in Louisiana, not Los Angeles.
The Kings when they come here.
Yeah. I already saw them.
Well, Tyler gets to watch all the games live because he works for the Pelicans. But Wade,
if I want to go see Tyler work, I'm a UC geek.
Exactly. Yes. Live sports are great on television, but the feeling of being in the arena is priceless. That's where our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Now you can save with the promo code BELLYUPSPORTS, all capital, one word. Visit SeatGeek.com, enter our promo code at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek, life's an event. We have the tickets. What a slogan. What a slogan by our friends at SeatGeek. That's a good
It's
one.
like Lil Wayne, life is a beach and I'm just playing in the sand.
Exactly. Boom. They probably had Lil Wayne write the slogan. Y'all got a dog of the week? Show's almost over. We got to end it with a dog of the week in the TMZ Sports segment. You ready for
Dog of
this?
the week.
I got a weird dog of the week. Tyler, it's not going to be able to be put in the poll, so I'll come up with a second one. But did you see the Texas A&M fan make the catch of the
Oh
year?
yeah.
Like a hard foul ball into the right field stands, and the dude just one hand nabs it before it hits the guy square in the face. So that's my main dog of the week. But for the Twitter poll, mine's definitely Dylan Cruz. 5 for 6 today, 4 RBIs,
3 doubles.
3 doubles.
On his birthday.
Dude, yeah, 21st birthday. He's getting hammered tonight for sure.
Happy birthday, Dylan Cruz.
Down there in Austin.
We're almost birthday
probably,
twins.
That's true.
Day
yeah,
off.
Wade's birthday is tomorrow. Too bad you didn't have his baseball athletic skill. Just joking. You were great at baseball. But Dylan Cruz got it rolling today. I think he's batting like 500 on the season. So, dude's gonna be the number one pick for sure. Wade, who's your dog of the week? Since you're the birthday.
All right, mine's a little obscure as well, kind of like your first one there. This one was actually sent to me by our guy Krish, one of the groomsmen. We had a good
Shout
time
out
with him in
Krish.
Texas. He sends me fun tweets throughout the day, as do you gentlemen. But he sent me one today because I'm kind of teaching him baseball, and he's teaching me soccer. And he sent me that Northern Kentucky's Liam Ackman hit 2 grand slams in the same inning. So
wow,
the team they were playing was probably pretty bad, but just the odds of getting up there twice.
Northern Kentucky. Guess
Northern
who they
Kentucky.
were playing? I know
They were playing Kentucky.
No, they were playing Western Michigan.
Western
just like
Michigan
we saw.
continues to get piled on.
Yeah, their Sunday starter's not that good.
Inning. Jeez,
but yeah, 2 grand slams in 1 inning. That's pretty efficient. So
has that ever happened before?
Congratulations.
2 grand slams in 1 game is insane. Shoot, 1 grand slam in a game is
for
insane.
A team, but for the individual player.
But yeah, 2 by the same player in 1 inning. I don't think it's ever happened before.
Yeah, the odds on that are insane. So 8 RBIs in 1 inning. That's a good way to get your stat line going.
Yeah, for real. Pump them stats. Tyler, who you got?
I'm going to give it to the double-double queen herself. Angel Reese had an insane game today. 23 points, 26 rebounds against Mississippi State as LSU closed out the regular season with a 74-59 win against the Bulldogs in a gold game, a sold-out crowd once again in the PMAC. It was an electric environment. So Angel Reese, once again, it was Jasmine Carsman last week for me. This week, Angel Reese, the queen.
There we go, Angel. The last segment for the show, the TMZ Sports segment. I also got a TMZ news. That's why I just went like,
CSI.
What? make this a TikTok here, Wade. Carol Baskins found dead. Husband discovered alive in Costa Rica. What in the world?
I saw you had found alive. I thought you were going Alabama basketball on us with CSI, but dang, Carol Baskins died.
Okay. Yeah, Carol Baskins found. Wait, no, hold up. Is this true? Rumors of Carol Baskins' husband being alive may just be. Oh, I read that wrong. I read that totally wrong. The headline got me.
Well, cancel the TikTok.
Carol
That's what clickbait does to you.
Yeah, make that a clickbait TikTok. Keep that on there. Carol Baskins' dead husband found alive in Costa Rica. The headline says Carol Baskins dead. Period. Husband discovered alive in Costa Rica. So
good spot to.
All right, TMZ, you got me on that one. But yeah, my TMZ segment of the week, we had everyone's favorite rapper Drake place a $400,000 bet to win $1 million on Jake Paul to knock out Nate Fury.
The Drake curse lives on.
The Drake curse. Fury got it done with the unanimous decision on he beat Jake Paul. So I didn't think it was going to happen because it's Jake Paul, and I figured it was going to be rigged. But yeah, there
No,
you go.
that Fury guy, dude, like he learned how to fight bar fighting in England. He's crazy.
Yeah, Jake Paul didn't stand a chance. I didn't know that. I should. Our boy Dan, shout out Dan if you're listening. He said he was going to place some bets on Nate Fury or Nick Fury, whatever his name is, Fury.
Yeah, he's got the
So
physique of like, a frat guy at LSU.
I think he's related to the dude that fights Wilder. The Fury and Wilder fights. I think they're brothers.
No, I think
We're not a
he
boxing
fought
guy.
Wilder a couple years ago and beat him, and it was a big upset.
No, that's a different guy.
Oh,
That's the. I think that's his brother. Because
I'm thinking of the big guy, anyways.
Oh yeah. No, this is like a smaller Fury.
Ah.
I think they might be brothers. I don't know. The tweet I saw of like the ending, the graphic was the big guy putting the crown on the small guy.
Oh, I was like, shoot, why would you ever bet on Jake Paul in that matchup? But now it makes
Oh,
more
yeah,
sense.
no, that's totally
I was like, he's gonna
mismatched.
sledgehammer him into the dirt.
Yeah. To end the show, I do want to talk about Alabama basketball because that is just so, when this was like 3 months ago, their shooting guard or whatever was arrested on a murder charge. And now he's been going through court and everything. Comes out that their star point guard gave him the gun that he used in the murder. And what does the head coach say? Wrong place at the wrong time. College kids are kids,
College
man.
kids
I don't know
will
what to
go
tell
out,
you. Yeah. Come on, man.
Grab
Like,
a couple beers after the game,
yeah. Shoot up the club. Who knows? It's kids are kids, Yeah. And they're just letting them play. I mean, there's like the school's like, turn a blind eye, whatever. Let him keep going. I think he should at least be probably suspended or taken out until he's proven innocent and not like no. I don't know if any legal. I'm not a lawyer. If you're a lawyer, call it. Send us a DM, explain it to us. I don't know. He texts him, hey man, bring me your gun. So obviously he was like, we got some stuff going down. So obviously he knows his gun's not going to be used to just show off. Look at my pistol. No, he's like, bring me your gun to the club. So it's going to be used for something. The text messages say, or apparently what was said in court
hot
based
and
on the
ready like
article I
Little
read.
Caesars.
Yeah, he says it's hot and ready in the hat. There's he doesn't say there's one in the chamber. He says it in a much like harder way, but basically he's saying there's one in the chamber ready to roll. And yeah, it ends up being used in the murder that the former Alabama player did. So I don't know. It's pretty wild.
At least you shouldn't pat down the player as a pregame celebration during introductions.
Yeah,
like
that's also that's it.
They're not
That's
hiding from this.
true. Yeah, they're. I mean, he was a guaranteed lottery pick. I'm curious if he's going to continue on or if he's just going to come out of this like pretty clean. I mean, I don't know if he can be in any legal trouble.
I think
Wait,
that
you know
he'll
your friend?
escape
Ask
it.
her. Ask
Yeah, I'll have to hit up Michaela on this one.
Yeah, find out. I mean, I don't know if. I mean, it's like when you drive somebody and they commit like a robbery and you're the getaway driver, you're involved in that. I would think. I mean, I guess they can't prove he had any knowledge of what the gun was going to be used for, but pretty wild stuff, man.
Either way, it could come back to cost him for the draft stock, and then Alabama just. Besides all this, they just seem like a very undisciplined team, and I think it will come back to bite them come tournament time because
I'm taking the field.
Yeah, the players can just walk all over their coach, and he's got their back when they do the dumbest of things. I mean, literally couldn't stoop down any lower. So, he puts up with all their stuff. They don't play good defense. So I think that'll come back to catch them.
They got two scares this week. They almost lost to bad South Carolina team on Tuesday, and then Arkansas gave them the game.
So what is his name? I just lost
the game winner against South Carolina.
Yeah.
You had like 40 points in that game too. You went off.
Yeah. So what is his name?
Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller. Yeah.
Right. It's a shame. He's really fun to watch. He seems to be a cool-headed player. I think he just really made a bad mistake, and wait till it gets out that Alabama basketball hazes their freshmen and makes them run around and do errands for them, because then Nate Oates will get fired.
Yep.
Well, that's why he was in that situation, because he had to drive the dude to the club.
Yeah, so it sounds to
And
me like they were hazing him into a murder investigation.
yeah, I mean, he said that he decided not to go to the club, which I guess good on him. He was like, "Nah, I'm going home." And then, yeah, it was like, "Hey, dude, we need your gun." And it's like,
Usually
it's
it's
a
like, hey, bring me a burger.
yeah, not hey, bring me your gun. I gotta go shoot somebody. Yeah, it's a pretty gray line they're tiptoeing right now, especially going into the playoffs, which obviously should be the
I thought
last thing.
Tuscaloosa was a good
And
old college town with no temptations.
I don't know, man.
Come on now.
This is pretty wild. I'm just shocked at the way the school and the coach, they're like, yeah, he's a kid, made a mistake. It's like, yeah, that's a little bit more than a mistake, man. Like, that's a big deal. Somebody was killed. Um, I mean, we fired Will Wade for paying somebody. And you got the coach saying, "Oh yeah, we knew about it." Like, that's what he said
Will
after he
Wade
was
could be
asked.
coaching at Ole Miss next year at this rate.
Yeah,
I wish we'd hire him back, but it'll never happen.
Yeah, it's not going
The
to
thing,
happen. There's
the
no
thing
way.
that threw me off was Alabama's coach was like, "Oh yeah, we knew about it. We just didn't say anything." Like, what?
it'd be one thing to say we knew about it, we handled it internally. Until he's legally charged, he's going to continue to be a member of this team. But then don't say, "Oh, college kids will be college kids going out
Yeah.
and having some drinks."
That's
Well,
when you get the NCAA dripping down your spine.
It's the same thing with LSU. I mean, Malik Neighbors was arrested during Mardi Gras. Did we talk about this on last? I don't remember if we had a show.
No, all this happened right after we released our episode on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right. He was arrested because he had a firearm in New Orleans, and he wasn't registered to have it. But honestly, I'd rather him be down there protecting himself because he's
And
a
apparently
pretty
that was a part of
popular
a
sports.
sting. There was like 20 people that got popped with the same thing. It was an effort to get illegal guns off the street.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
At
and he
least
was
they're doing
eventually
something.
let go. He just they just confiscated the gun. That was it.
Yeah, so I don't. People were like, "Oh, he's not going to play in the first game." No, he's just going to run about 40 stadiums.
Slap on
Brian
the
Kelly's
wrist.
going to, yeah, Brian Kelly. I mean, he
Saban
wasn't
does the same thing
charged.
with Alabama when Alabama people get even worse.
Eli Ricks had a DUI and he still played the rest of the season.
No, he had a suspended license.
But he had a ton of weed in the car and a gun. So I don't know, man. These
He was making deliveries.
Right. That's even worse. But no, I mean, I think Malik Neighbors doesn't miss any time.
Yeah.
That he's probably just gonna run.
He's got a long,
Insane
hot
amount.
Louisiana summer to be running his tail off.
Hey, but he's gonna be stupid fast come football season.
They won't let him
He's
use
gonna
the
be
indoor
blown by
facilities.
Yeah. So I'm sure he'll be rightfully punished, but I don't think they're gonna take it out on the team as a whole because he's wide receiver number one. If he was arrested and like formally charged, like he killed somebody, yeah, he's off the team.
Basically, they were just trying to get like minors and people with illegal guns off the streets
It's good
using a technicality.
That city needs to try to clean up its crime anyway. I mean, it's I'm glad if he's down there, at least he was protecting himself, you know. But I mean, that's a whole nother topic we could go into. But we've already been recording for over an hour. It's the off season. We're not going to upload a 2-hour podcast. I think that's it, guys. Y'all got anything else?
We got the scouting combine kicking off this week, so we'll be able to watch some of the top prospects in Indy, get a look of the top prospects and maybe some sleeper prospects that can boost up their draft stock.
I hope Bryce Young weighs
watching
in at 210 pounds so that we can end all this ridiculous speculation of Anthony Richardson and Will Levis.
I always like seeing the 40 times because there's always somebody that just like is insanely fast and blows it out of the water. So that'll be fun to see. But if that's it, I think we call it a show. I got nothing left.
That's good enough for me.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody listening. If you're on YouTube, once again, please help us out. Hit the subscribe, like, comment, share. Follow us on TikTok at Sports Scramble Podcast, Twitter at Sports Scramble 4, YouTube at the Sports Scramble podcast, because there's a Sports Scramble video game that we should not be confused with. Shout out to Belly Up Sports for hosting us every week. Check them out. They got great shows from wrestling to golf to soccer to college hoops to scouting, injury reports, everything. So we appreciate everybody listening. We hope you have a great week.